What up? Welcome back to Mac Talk. It's your boy Tim Mac, the host with the most, never ghosts. We work on that. We're working on a catchphrase. You feel me? Um. So today, we're gonna pick up a little bit where we left off in episode one, on a quick recap, and then segue into where we're going from here. In episode one, I touched on, wanting to or previously quitting before. And today, I really just want to go into more of an in depth dive about what, why I decided to stop doing music, what brought me back in, really. Um, share some of my doubts, my fears, my concerns, and we just go from there, you know. So the first time I quit, we were part of the 5-man group, and thing that the landscape was different, landscape of like YouTube, Instagram. I don't think Instagram was around yet. I think it was still just Facebook, because I remember we were still burning physical CDs. We were putting CDs in jewel cases. When we didn't have jewel cases, we was taking like bootleg DVD cases and putting CDs in there. We were using like I believe it was either like Paint Shop Pro or Photoshop, one of them, to make covers. And we would print these out, size them out, and stick them in jewel cases, and take them to give people like physical CDs, whether we handing them out, trying to sell them, whatever we trying to do with them. So that was one thing right there. So during that time period, so it's like it's a lot different to market yourself. And while there were open mics at the time, there was like a lot of battle rap going on. There was also, it was less curated events. It was just kind of things being put together and thrown together. And being a part of a group, like I said in the first episode, is difficult when you got all these different personalities and everyone has a different creative direction that they want to go. And it just started to be really hard to see the end goal, to see the light at the end of the tunnel for me. It was hard to see that vision of where we were actually really trying to go. And now in retrospect, looking back, it's like I know we didn't have a plan. You feel me? At that time, the plan was just to keep going, keep trying shit, and hopefully somebody will come and SOS and save us. You feel me? But it don't go that way. And I think I was becoming like doubtful of that process. Like, what are we doing? What's next? Where do we go? Like I mentioned in the first episode how we were doing some of the things that people do now when it comes to content. Like we were doing music videos that we would shoot on like a hand camera, and it just didn't feel like at that time that wasn't what was important. Like the internet was still really new. Like, you got to remember, this is 2000, like 8, 9, 10. You feel me? It's like people just getting access to stuff on their phone to where you can be away from your computer. You don't got to log into MySpace or Facebook or that piff on a computer. You can probably get on the internet on your phone, but it's still pretty new. And I just didn't feel like we were like equipped enough to go forward. At least I wasn't equipped enough. I won't speak for everybody else, but I just started to feel like, how I say now, how the landscape has changed. At that point, the landscape had changed, and it felt like the type of music that we were doing or that I was doing was not going to be appreciated, wasn't appreciated. Um, Trap rap was definitely still very heavy and prevalent, and it was like if you were doing bars back then, it was kind of like you were doing something that was outdated, or it was something that was corny, because like certain songs, like if you remember a song like Travis Porter, like "Make It Rain," and "Make It Rain," and like something like that was on the airwave. You feel me? I remember, if I was to play a Jadakiss versus a Gucci Man at that time, people didn't want to hear it. They didn't want to be in the car and hear it. They felt it. And just like, I don't think Kiss is a wordy rapper, if you know what I mean. And But people wasn't trying to hear it then. They wanted to groove, they wanted to party. And once again, that's just that era where niggas is dressing like they going for a job interview at the club and shit. But at the same time, we fresh off of big ass tees and whatnot. You know, them early 2010s were an interesting time. You feel me? So during that time where we would go out and we would do things on the music scene, like a lot of verses and hooks that other artists were doing were just like very repetitive, very simplistic versus a song with a theme or a concept or a story. Because that as a rapper, that's what I enjoy doing, yo. I enjoy being a storyteller. I enjoy telling stories, and I enjoy how you put that together in a structure and make it work within whatever, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever your time period is. You feel me? But I think the first time I thought about quitting was just being out on that scene and realizing that there weren't many other people who were concerned with bars or concerned with the culture of what we were doing. And I can't say what the breaking point was for me. Like immediately, I do just remember like sitting in a few sessions and seeing like engineers and producers and just like, man, they doing much better than I am because all us as rappers are paying them, and we all got the same dream to be either a famous rapper or getting some type of notoriety off of this. And time has definitely taught me that there's easier ways to obtain fame and notoriety than trying to be a rapper. It's like you really have to care about the art. You really have to care about the craft. I say it all the time because it ain't an easy thing, man. It's not easy, and besides being not easy, it's a culture that you have to appreciate and respect. You feel me? Um, I think one moment I remember specifically is like sitting in the living room with G and his brother, and we was at like this little circle table, and I just was like, man, I'm just really ready to be a civilian at times, man. Like, and I think by now it's probably 2014, 2015, and around this time things had also changed. I've been working the same job at that time for maybe 5 or 6 years, and I was tired of not being able to get further on the chain there. I wanted more money, you know what I mean? I wanted to do things differently. And similar to how it is now at that time, I believe that, you know, taking a step back from music would have been a better benefit. In the long run, I think it did benefit me in a lot of ways, like I was able to go back to school, was able to get a lot of myself together mentally, physically, emotionally. And eventually when I did come back to music, I think I felt refreshed. It's really those quiet moments that I had to myself where I'm sitting with myself and I'm trying to like really rationalize quitting, what quitting really means. Cause like you always tell yourself like, yo, if I quit, what if tomorrow was my day? What if that was my opportunity, my shot? And you really never know, but you hope and you pray. And recently, somebody posted a question to me like, "If tomorrow was your day, would you be ready?" At the time, I didn't directly answer that question, but would I be ready? Hell no, man. Hell no. It's like you go from being a normal person doing normal things, just going to work, to now everybody wants to be up in your shit. Everybody wants to be in your business. What you're doing, what you're wearing, what you're eating, who you're with, where you're going. And it's a lot to prepare for. And I don't think there's anybody who's like just night and day ready to go from one thing to the next. So it's like you have those, you know, quiet moments to yourself, like emotionally and mentally, where it's like, maybe it's healthier for me to walk away. Maybe I can do better at something else. Maybe I wasn't meant to do this. You feel me? And I think having those doubts and concerns, or, or worries, or whatever you want to call them. I think it's a healthy part of doing this, man. This being a musician, being an entertainer, being an artist takes a toll on your mental health that you would not believe, and that's the side of the story people don't tell you. They leave that side out of it. Looks like the best shit ever. You're having the most fun in the world, but you have no idea how it is when you are really in those moments where it's just you, where you catch yourself in a drunken stupor or a high haze, and you really like, man, what is going on? Who am I? What am I doing? Where am I going with this in the future? You know, and um, after quitting the first time, like I said, by 2015, I was done. I was done, man. I told G, it's like, man, I just put too much time, money, energy, effort into this, and I'm not getting nothing back. And like, so even then, making content, it's like, content wasn't, I don't think the word content existed then. You were just making videos on YouTube. You were just making videos. Instagram didn't have the ability to make videos. You feel me? Maybe they just got it from Vine or whatever. I can't remember. Like, we're going back now. But Jesus, that's 10 years ago. Damn. So you see what I'm saying, bro? Like, things have changed. Like, even like just from then to now. So, coming back in 2020, like I said in episode 1, we had to learn new DAWs, new programs, new systems, new social media stuff, and it takes time. That's another thing. Like, you just cannot cheat the process, man. Like, some people will give up because the process is long and difficult, and it may take longer for you than me. It may take me longer than you, but it's like that's the real right there. The process. When people say you can't cheat the process is time. The time it takes for you to learn any given skill that you need to learn to upgrade your shit. You feel me? And I mean, the learning process never stops, man. I'm still learning, still learning. Like, I think that's probably the most thing that keeps me from quitting now is when I learn something new. And it's like, now I need to go execute. I need to go experiment and try this out. Like, I encourage you, learn something new. You got an idea, try it, man. Just shoot for it. What's it going to hurt? What are you going to lose? Because you lose more by just sitting on your ass, not doing nothing. You got to fucking do something. You feel me? And, I guess that's my message to people out there who may feel like they struggle with wanting to quit. Like, if you need to take a step back for your mental health, if you need to take a step back for your financial well-being, if this is destroying your home life, your marriage, your relationship, your family life, and you need to take that time off, if you need to better yourself in any way, shape, or form, man, I encourage you to do that first. That's the first thing that's important. You feel me? But if you are creative and you love this and you love being creative, I also encourage you to come back to it, because I came back. It's easy to fall back in love with being a creative. And that's without being long-winded, man, that's episode 2 for y'all. So give me your thoughts, opinions. Let me know how you handle quitting. If you've wanted to quit, have you quit, plan on quitting, trying not to quit. And don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Follow me on Instagram as slick_nerd_Mac. And that's a wrap, baby. Episode 2.